Dear students, now we will see services. So services provide benefits to clients such as file storage, printing, faxing and access to high performance computing facilities in the same sense as the server in traditional CS system, that is client server environment. And the dynamicity added to the CS paradigm by service discovery introduced some new concerns like universally unique identifiers and the standardization. So we will see this one by one. First is universally unique identifiers. So it is useful to be able to identify the services uniquely, particularly in large networks where many instances of the same service type may be present, like assigning UUID, universally unique identifiers, to the service has several benefits. First benefit is it allows client to search for a specific service by its identifier, like all students are having a unique roll number. And second, it allows the clients and service catalogs to determine if two service instances are in fact the same service. Okay, so these are the advantages of this UUID. Since service discovery protocols are targeted at a wide variety of network types, from small home network with only a few nodes and little infrastructure to a large corporate network, it is important that UUID can created without relying on a centralized controller. So at first it might seem difficult to generate the UUID without a global infrastructure, but in fact most computers with network interface already contain at least one unique identifier, and that is the IEEE 802.3 MAC address, that is media access control address. So this MAC address is having a R6 byte of quantities with 3 bytes allotted to the vendor ID and 3 bytes to the vendor specific serial number. So MAC addresses alone are sufficient for UUID for a number of reasons. The first is that some services may be hosted on devices with no assigned MAC address. Second reason is that MAC addresses can be configured in a software, potentially resulting in duplicates, means there are duplicate services. Another reason is that a device with a single MAC address may host many services, each of which requires a universally unique ID. And the last is it is not generally desirable to tie a service to a particular machine. So these are the reasons that we are not using only MAC address for providing the UUID. So the Gini, we described the Gini's method for creating the universally unique identifier because it is typical. Gini's method is similar to that described in ISO 11578. Here the UUID is created with a reference to an MAC address. So this UUID is the 128-bit long and are created using a combination of random numbers, a measure of the current time and possibly a MAC address. The most significant 64 bits of the identifier are composed of a 32-bit time low field, 16-bit time mid field, 4-bit version number and 12-bit time high field. And the least significant 64-bit of the identifier are composed of 4-bit variant field, a 12-bit clock sequence field, a 48-bit node field, and the variant is always 2. The version field can contain either 1 or 2. So if the version field contains 1, then the node field is set to a 48-bit MAC address and the clock sequence field is set to the random number, and the 3 time fields are set to the 60-bit measures of elapsed time, means the time at that time, means the current time. Okay, and if the version field is 4, then the other fields are set to a random number. Next is a standardization process. So as an essential component in a service discovery framework is a standardization process for new service type. For clients to discover needed service, it is possible for the client to specify service type in a standard way so that they can easily detected or discovered by the client. So the standardization process requires answer to the following questions, like what does it mean to be a service of type X. Second is what operations are appropriate for service of type X. What protocols are does an instance of type X use, and what descriptive attributes are required to adequately describe the characteristics and capabilities of service. So these four questions have to be answered while doing the standardization process. Next is a textual description. So most of the proposed service discovery framework use the textual description for standardization service, like SLP, service location protocol, UPnP, universal plug and play, then salutation, and the Bluetooth service discovery protocol, that is SDP. They are using the programming language independent textual description to describe the service. These protocols uses the programming language independent textual description to describe the service. So there are two problems in constructing a textual service descriptions. First is the name of the service type must be standardized so that client have a mechanism for specifying that service and discover that service. Second is the names of the standard attributes must be defined so that capabilities and characteristics of service instance can be determined either during initial or during the post discovery service interrogation. Okay, and the second issue is choosing the particular protocol used between the client and the service instance. Okay, so that is the textual description. So thank